It's time. It's time. I have seen enough. I waited until I saw Christian Pulisic play on Wednesday against Zenit St. Petersburg in the Champions League. I wanted to get one last look to know for sure that it is time. It's time that Christian Pulisic leave Chelsea and find a new club. I know this has come up before and I haven't been happy for a variety of reasons. Let's make it abundantly clear that firstly, Christian Pulisic has had an incredible run at Chelsea. Record transfer fee, when healthy, scoring some amazing goals. Look at that season, which unfortunately was broken up many times because of the pandemic, 2019-2020. Scored one of the goals of the season, a byline-to-byline counterattack against Manchester City. Then he would score an equally incredible goal against Liverpool at the tail end of that season. By the way, that goal against City helped Liverpool get closer to clinching that title. 9 goals, 6 assists. Then you have Christian Pulisic last season, which had some injuries, reach the summit. Not only playing in a Champions League final, but winning. Rarefied air, if not rare, period, for an American to do what he did. He was a factor in helping get Chelsea along the way to the finish line. That's fantastic. He's made a lot of money. He has lived in London. He showed he could do it. The fans are behind him. They love him there at Stamford Bridge. But we could also talk about Chelsea. The biggest problem with Christian Pulisic, there's no debate on this, it's the injuries. The injuries have sabotaged his career and put us in a situation where we just hold our breath every time he kicks a ball. We hope he finally turns the corner, but can he? Will he? That has been the biggest issue. But it's not the only issue. He has been injured, an ankle injury recently, but he's had 8 games back, and in that, not exactly a small sample size, we have seen enough for me to be confident that this is not the right club for him. It's not just the playing time, by the way, and I'll get into that as well. And it's time for Christian to move forward for a new challenge. We'll break it on down. We'll find out who the clubs could be where he possibly could move to, or if there is a club. And we'll do it all here on the Soccer OG. Do you like that logo? I like that one. Established 2020. We're approaching our 2-year anniversary. Well, not quite. We're getting there. But we appreciate all of you. I've got a fantastic Soccer OG podcast out right now with the great Warren Barton. We talk about how the Premier League is becoming the new Super League. We'll talk about what a Qatar World Cup will look like. Break down Jesse Marsch, no longer in Leipzig. What does he do next? And I'll also give you my State of the League breakdown from what Don Garber said, as well as we prepare for the MLS Cup final. So check out the Soccer OG podcast where all podcasts are available. And please like and subscribe this video. And I will keep coming them out because Christian Pulisic is not the only player that should be American player in Europe that should be handing in a transfer request. It's been great. We just saw the Champions League wrap up. We're going to have 5 Americans, I believe 5 Americans in the round of 16. We'll have 3 more Americans in the Europa League. What a fun ride this has been. But I think it could be better. So, like, subscribe, you know what to do. But let's break down Christian Pulisic here. And I guess it's a good idea to kind of go in some chronological order. He does have 3 years left on his contract, by the way. So he signed a big contract, $60 million. Frank Lampard was the manager. Remember, really had to prove himself with Lampard, and then he was scoring big goals for Frank, Super Frank. Many people thought it was partially a publicity stunt to have him out there, get this American guy, and see what he can do. So there he is. And with a new manager, Thomas Tuchel, we kind of came up with it before because he wasn't getting regular playing time. There is something else at play here with Chelsea that, to me, is the real alarm bell with regards to playing there. And far be it from anyone to second-guess Thomas Tuchel. I'm not saying that Thomas Tuchel's wrong. I'm not saying that Chelsea have to play Christian Pulisic. Thomas Tuchel plays a certain way. He is getting results. He won the Champions League. They were in first in the Premier League. They're now in third. Things aren't going great for them right now. I don't think this season's going to get anywhere close to how last season looked. This is a great team if you're a midfielder. It's a great team if you're a fullback. It's a great team if you're a central defender. If you're an attacking player, Chelsea's not a great team. Look at all those players. Firstly, they've all played out of position time and time again. I'm appreciative of players that say, I'm going to take one for the team and I'm going to play here. But if that is every game of every season, I have a problem with that. And Christian Pulisic, as we'll take a look at these 8 games since he's been back. He got back from the Malmo game in the Champions League, played a little bit of time. So in those 8 games, we knew it was going to take 3 or 4 to start games. So he, Malmo, Burnley, substitute, Leicester, substitute, does start against Juventus in the Champions League going 90 minutes. Man United played 12 minutes, 90 minutes playing for Watford. West Ham United this weekend came off the bench, played 17 minutes. And then the Zenit St. Petersburg game on Wednesday, he came in the with 25 minutes to go. Several Chelsea fans, and I get on Twitter a lot when Christian plays, they were upset because Tuchel made 8 changes to the starting 11 that lost to West Ham in a big game for Chelsea. We don't know how. They were playing for first place. And now Juventus will take first place because they tied 3-3. Christian Pulisic, by the way, involved a really beautiful assist to set up Timo Werner. Now, with regards to Christian Pulisic, he has started in those 8 games, he has started 2. One of them he played the false 9, not his position. He's also played right wing back, which he did against Zenit St. Petersburg. He's done it a couple games. He's also played kind of tucked in the Jorginho position sometimes. So he's a winger. He is a winger. João Cancelo in 2020, when he was defending Christian Pulisic, when Chelsea played Man City, João Cancelo said, Pulisic is the most difficult winger I have ever faced. Doesn't mean he's the best winger, but João Cancelo, playing for Manchester City at the time, he's faced a lot of good wingers. And according to him, Christian Pulisic was the toughest. It's okay to play different positions, but not 4 different positions and not constantly. To Chelsea, with the attacking, by the way, one thing that the Chelsea fans, they've been dying to see Lukaku and Pulisic play. It's never happened. We haven't seen it. My point about attacking players, Lukaku, he's not starting regularly. He has taken a huge dip. $100 million player, and he is battling for playing time. I think we're seeing the end of the $100 million transfer, right? Jadon Sancho was around there. Jack Grealish not panning out, and certainly Romelu Lukaku. And I really believe every attacking player for Chelsea's market value has dropped while playing for Thomas Tuchel. Not a lot. But I would think if Lukaku was rated at $100 million, he's probably rated at $80 million. Pulisic was $60 million, he's probably rated at $45. Kai Havertz played out of position many times. Timo Werner, definitely his market value has dropped. Did have a good game against Zenit, maybe his best game against Zenit St. Petersburg. Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi, they're all in the same boat. I understand having a platoon, but having a platoon where you're not playing all that regularly and playing out of position, that kind of stinks. But all these guys are all battling and campaigning, and all the transfer rumors swirling around multiple Chelsea players. So this team's going to look very different. Callum Hudson-Odoi at the top of this because he's just world-class speed, is a guy that a lot of people would like to get. I mean, the only attacking player, I should say, for Chelsea that value has gone up, who's consistent in there and worthy of that, is Mason Mount. But all the others kind of competing for scraps. And you don't want that. I mean, do I have to talk to guys of this level if they want to play regularly and play in position? I'm pretty sure 99 out of 100 would say yes. Do you like playing out of position? Do you like playing half of the games? No. It's important for you because if you're good, you love to play the game. If you're good at starting games, you make more money. You extend your career. So I start counting the things, and And we've heard Thomas Tuchel say too, and I think he's given the blessing for Christian Pulisic to go. But the question is, where? Where can he go? Hey, we've got to stay healthy, and the injuries are going to prevent some things. But there are some clubs out there that certainly want him. But in this strange marketplace, and with the Premier League becoming, the richest league and spending the most money, there's no contest when you look at these other clubs. In Bayern Munich, they do spend money, but they keep that belt pretty tight. PSG is a bit of an outlier, obviously. Spanish clubs have to be, let's hold on a second. Where can you possibly sell him? He still should play for a very good team. And some of the teams that are interested, Liverpool, Barcelona, just tell you the level of Christian Pulisic. Many clubs would love to have him. Most of them cannot afford whatever they ask as a transfer fee. 45, 50, that's probably not going to happen. Maybe a loan, and then with a good transfer, you pick up the player's wages, etc., which are pretty significant too. Where does that leave the clubs that can sign him? Now, I don't know if Chelsea are going to be in any rush to send Christian Pulisic to Liverpool. It's a direct competitor. You're going to make them better, I would certainly think. He's a great fit for Liverpool. Will he play all the time? Probably not. But you have Mane, Jota, Firmino, Salah. Salah's been the MVP of the league. Sadio Mane may be on his way out at some point. Neither are that young. Pulisic is certainly younger than both of them. He could probably relieve either one of those two, maybe play a little centrally. Divock Origi's there. That's another guy you're going to compete with. He's not going to get a ton of playing time at Liverpool, but I think he could play in position, and he could be the heir apparent. And he's going to reunite possibly with his manager at Dortmund, who knows what Christian Pulisic is capable of. Even though Christian Pulisic had that relationship with Thomas Tuchel, I think Jurgen Klopp's a different level. So that makes sense. But do Chelsea want to do that? Do Liverpool want to drop that coin for a guy who's not a 90-minute guy week in, week out? We'll have to see. Barcelona makes a ton of sense on the field. Christian Pulisic could be there and guide those young players that are coming up from La Masia and the academies that need someone to keep an eye on. They're far from a finished product. You have Ousmane Dembele. You certainly have Memphis Depay. You would have Serginho Dest there possibly, unless he moves in part of that mix-up with Barcelona. Barcelona need bodies to help get in the Champions League. I think they're in 7th place right now, 6 points out. Christian Pulisic would play regularly in a very natural position there. I think you plop him in right away. I mean, you have those guys, Pedri and Gavi. But the wingers, I think there's a real opportunity. Abde was a guy who's playing. Ansu Fati's another one, but he's been injured. There's a great opportunity. That's the perfect club for Christian Pulisic right now, and he gets to be part of this revival. Barcelona's not going to be spending $50 million on a transfer fee. They probably can't even afford the wages. They are in big trouble again here in the Champions League, as they look like they'll probably miss the next Champions League as well, unless they get really hot here, and there's no indicators that they will. The money's the biggest problem. And Barcelona need a guy who's not going to get injured. So while it makes the most sense, and I'd love to see it, and I know our friends at ESPN would love to see it as well, Christian Pulisic playing on a regular basis in La Liga, I just don't know how it adds up. Chelsea, by the way, Barcelona have a lot of these Chelsea players in conversations. I wasn't aware of a relationship between these two, but it's Pulisic, it's Azpilicueta, it's I think Ziyech as well. A bunch of guys that Barcelona are going to try and pick. I think Hudson-Odoi was another one. So I don't know. I just don't. You'd have to move heaven and earth for him to be a Barcelona player. There have been some big moves as well. There have been some big, not big, but Andriy Shevchenko, manager of Genoa, said, I want Christian Pulisic. He'd be great at Genoa. He would be the star player at Genoa. Genoa was, I think, in 18th place in the Serie A. Can't get the ball, can't score goals, probably being relegated. We wouldn't hear from Christian Pulisic there. I don't know if you take that kind of dip. Maybe not Liverpool, Barcelona, but not Genoa. Do you go back to Germany? That doesn't feel like a thinking forward move by any means. It really is pretty limited when you think of it. And while we have spoken here for 15, 16 minutes about Christian Pulisic leaving, quite frankly, I just don't know where he's going to go. But it's up to him. If he wants to leave, a loan could probably be figured out here. But this insanity cannot continue. And then he'll get some games, and then he might get injured again, right? We just don't know. But as I said at the beginning, it's time. And I've given you the reasons. Not playing regularly, not starting regularly, playing out of position, time to be the featured guy. And you've done everything you could do there at Chelsea, right? You've won the Champions League. We appreciate all of you. I'm looking at my notes. I know I hate to do that when I'm talking to you, but I want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. I feel like I left something out. We're good. We're good. Thank you again for tuning into our video. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back this weekend. I'll be in Las Vegas. I'll tell you more about it soon. We'll have another podcast looking like Eric Winaldo. We're going to get him on the podcast. That should be a fun conversation. And you guys have a great time. Christian.